All right, we're going to go over the chapter 19 and 20 test review. Question number 1, listen and explain the Ottomans' interactions with the Europeans. Focus on the tulip period here, how they had a trade agreement with Europe. Although the Ottomans did have a strong navy in the Mediterranean, they couldn't control the Europeans, specifically the Portuguese, in the Indian Ocean. Number 2 wants you to look at the significance of the Janissaries. This was the main Ottoman fighting force. They were Christians from Eastern Europe that had been captured. Guns made them very powerful. So did the hereditary system. Eventually, the Janissaries became a hereditary system, hereditary institution, and that makes them also powerful. Number 3, who ruled the Ottoman Empire and how did its dynasty compare to other ruling families? One of the things about the Ottoman Empire that's noteworthy is that it lasted longer than any of the other Islamic empires, over 600 years. And it was ruled, the main leader is the Sultan, but they had sub-rulers called viziers, and you could rise to power and become a powerful governmental official that way. Number 4, describe the decline of the Ottoman, Safavid, and Mughal empires. In the Ottoman Empire, local officials hoarded wealth. The ability of individual sultans declined, meaning that the ability and skills as a leader declined. Locals abandoned their land because there were oppressive demands put on them. The causes for the Safavid decline, there was a lot of economic inflation in that area because of silver. There was mismanagement of the Silk Road, so trade began to decline, and there was lack of control of the tax system. The Mughal Empire collapsed mainly because of the land grant system. There was some resistance in the southern part of the Mughal Empire that the Muslims were never really able to control, and the Muslims alienated the Sikhs, which is eventually going to cause disruption in the Mughal Empire. Number 5, what was unique about Safavid Islam? When did the empire reach its greatest extent? What were the languages used, and what was the official language after the Battle of Jahan? So there's several test questions tied up into this one question on the review sheet. Shiite Islam is unique in the Safavid Empire. Abbas the Great was the main ruler that really grew the Safavid Empire. They were originally speaking Turkish, and then after the Battle of Jahan, they switched to speaking Persian. And the Battle of Jahan was between the Ottomans and the Safavids. Number 6, describe the economic system of the Ottoman, Safavid, and Mughal empires. The Ottomans benefited from non-Muslim trade. The Safavids did not really want to trade with minority groups. So you got to think, the Safavids are in between, the Ottomans are on one side and the Mughals are on the other, and so they have Muslims that they can trade with. Now, the people that control the trade in the Safavid weren't necessarily Muslims, but who the empire itself was looking for trade partners. They weren't really interested in trading with minority groups. The Mughals were really into textile trade, this cotton cloth. That's something that's noteworthy for the test. Number 7, describe the role of women in each Islamic empire relating to gender and property rights. Islamic law allowed women to keep property after their marriage. There's some other things. You can look through those charts that we made in class. Again, this review that I'm doing right now is not completely exhaustive. This is just to get you pointed in the right direction. Number 8, describe the role of the military in each of the Islamic empires. What were the strengths and weaknesses of each? Ottoman Navy was good, and the Safavids and the Mughals had no navy. Again, I'm mentioning Janissaries again. That's something that you should be very familiar with. Number 9, where was the Mughal Empire located? How did it originate? And who was the first leader? It was founded around the year 1300 by Osman. They had an important victory against the Byzantine Empire in 1453 by Mehmed II. Number 10, describe the reign of Akbar. what reform efforts did he make concerning the military, the government, religion, and social improvements? Akbar personally oversaw the building of the military and the administration. He patronized the arts. He extended the Mughal conquest into northern and central India. And the religion, he tried to create religious peace by creating a religion called the Divine Faith, where he combined several different religions. Mainly it was Islam and Hinduism that he was blending those. There was elements of Zoroastrianism and Judaism and Christianity, and there were other things mixed in, but really he was trying to bridge the gap between the Hindus and the Muslims. Number 11, what architectural masterpiece was built during the Mughal Empire by Shah Jahan? Why was it built, and how did it hurt the economy? It's the Taj Mahal. It was built as a tomb for his wife, and it crushed the economy because it was all the money that he took a massive amount of money from his empire in order to build this tomb for his wife. Question number 12, who succeeded Shah Jahan and what problems were prevalent during his reign? Aurangzeb, Aurangzeb, follows Shah Jahan. You can see the answer to number 4 for the problems that they faced. So number 4 was dealing with decline. Number 13, how did the Islamic empires view technological advances in learning in Europe? How were the commercial and cultural contacts established with the West? No Islamic leaders systematically monitored European technology because there wasn't that much of it early on. Muslim scholars took no interest in European learning, but trade contacts between the Muslim empires and Europe did exist. Number 14, I'm going to stop reading every single question. You have your review sheets with you, and so you can look along with them. It'll just save a lot of time if I just hit you with the answers. So 14 is talking about Islamic expansion. Because Islam willingly accepted converts as full members, that's going to aid in their success. Number 15, a little bit about Europeans' interest in Southeast Asia. Joint stock companies are something that you need to know for question number 15. And the Dutch is the country that's going to fight a series of wars. So that's the part of number 15 there. Question number 16, the Europeans, the only concern that the Europeans had for the large populations of the Asian nations is they saw them as overwhelming numbers, and so they never attempted to really conquer any of these countries. So they wanted the trade contacts and things like that, but not really a sense of let's go invade because of the large numbers in these Asian nations. 17 is about Japan. Feudalism is the system that was used prior to this political unification. When they had a series of wars, kind of like these civil wars that were going on in Japan, out of that rose the Tokugawa shogunate, which we talked about extensively in class. 18, Japan's policy of isolation. Christianity was banned. Foreign traders were confined to Nagasaki Bay, and Western books were banned. 19, the decline of Ming China. This is dealing with economic depression caused by population decline. Li Zixing, Lizicheng, led the Manchurians to overthrow the Ming, and they're going to establish the Qing Empire. 20 is the trade goods, porcelain, silk, jade, tea, spices. The Europeans were very impressed with the Chinese goods. They were impressed with China's power, the manufacturing that was taking place in China, and their huge population. 21 is the political structure of the Qing. There were very few limits on Chinese promotions, and so it's very easy, if you know the right people and things like that, to move into this area of promotion. All right, 23. Population in China. I'm sorry, I skipped number 22, Europe's interaction with China during the Qing Dynasty. And so this is You can talk here about Matteo Ricci. Make sure you review him a little bit. The McCartney mission. Europeans got products from China. They got poetry. They got inoculations, these vaccinations from China. And make sure you're familiar with the Canton system there as well, which is going to limit European ports in China. 23 is now the population. The rise is going to cause severe environmental problems, which is going to lead to political problems in China. So the rise in population is going to lead to demand for more land, which is then going to lead to deforestation to get this land for farming. 24, now we're moving on to Russia, talking about Peter the Great. Military things with Peter the Great. He had a good victory against the Swedes for the Baltic Sea, which is where he's going to then be able to establish his capital, St. Petersburg. He copied Western-style bureaucracy, military things from the West, Western dress. Politically, he kept the monarchy. Economically, taxation is still happening. He kept the taxes. And socially, he's going to adopt European dress and styles. He's going to encourage the nobles in Russia to shave their beards. He's trying to westernize his empire. 25 is talking about the expansion of Russia. The Cossacks are going to push into the uninhabited east, looking for fur, so this is Siberia. 26, describe the economy of Russia. They didn't have great technology, but they had cheap labor and markets, as well as available land. So they're going to be able to develop some sort of economy. Make sure you also know about serfdom. Look back through your notes about that. 27, describe the population distribution and social organization in Russia during the 17th and 18th centuries. Population increase was steady, and they had serfdom that lasted until 1864. So that's an overview of the Chapter 19 and 20 test review, and I'll be posting the thesis statements on the blog sometime soon. So make sure that you don't limit your studying to simply what I just said. Use that to go a little more in depth to these things, and you should be all right for the test.